fourth and final chapter on the need for a support group. Good hearts, it's one thing to read helpful, supportive documents, books, etc., because it plants the seed. Does reading something in itself bring a healing? Not in my experience. It's a seed for doing it. The essential thing that is needed, that a support group needs to provide to you, is to give you the confidence to be able to go to God and be able to ask for change in yourself. The support group has to give you the reassurance that you're losing nothing by going to God and seeking a different way of handling a matter, either about yourself or other people, or about circumstances, worries about the future and how it's going to turn out, or guilt about the past, that the support group has to be able to inform you that it is safe to go to God and seek change. They provide personal testimonials to it. They give examples of when they went to God. And when you mention your worries, they're able to ask you, do you have justification for your worries about why you shouldn't go to God? Where did you pick that up from? How do you know that God would be judgmental about yourself? What are you establishing that basis for? Again, it's countering your human mind's desire to stop you from going to God. And a group can pick up and ask you, support you in wondering why you have those kinds of feelings, and did you give those feelings to God? Lord, I feel you down on me, and I'm afraid to come to you, and I ask your help to come to you to deal with this fear that's in my mind. Your colleagues, your co-group members can pick this kind of thing up, because in a group, not only one person has all the answers, but God uses each other to exchange with each other in order to be able to deliver God's messages. So prayer is a very necessary element in a need for a support group, because the ultimate support comes from God directly to you or through others as well, pointing out to you a shortcoming that you have. And it is needed, because it's a serious issue to believe that you need to change and you're not sure what the change is going to be like. You're worried about how vulnerable you can be if you're, for instance, dealing with a feeling of forgiveness of somebody who has offended you or hurt you or even been threatening to you or whatever. You're not going to make a move on that and surrender and say, I'll let God handle this, because you're up against the fact that the human mind is survival-oriented. It's an animal, and it wants to defend itself because it has no belief that you can't be harmed, that you are an eternal being, that this world is not the world that you're meant to be in, as Jesus puts it. Your human mind cannot do this. It convinces you otherwise, and it speaks loudly, very loudly, as it points out in A Course in Miracles, and speaks first. And so we must have support to be able to establish the seed, for you're not losing anything, you're gaining something, and they are there to support you in this process. Do you follow this kind of a thing as to why it needs to be part of your personal experiences as well, to have people who hold you up, that it is not a shortcoming, it's not a limitation, it's not that you're inadequate, inept, or you're leaning on a crutch. It's none of these things, because the reality is, as we have gone over in these points, you cannot solve things yourself. And I'll give one final example of it and I'll go lean on Jesus for this again. A rich young man comes to Jesus and states that he has done these very, very wonderful things in his life and wants to know if there are more that he needs to do to get into the kingdom. And Jesus loved him. And Jesus says to him, you must give up your wealth, pick up your cross, and follow me. And the rich young man could not do it and walked away sorrowfully. And his disciples, Jesus' disciples, were very upset now at this point. Jesus, if that man isn't going to get into the kingdom of heaven, and they knew that Jesus loved him, how are we ever going to do it? And Jesus answers them, for man, impossible. For God, everything is possible. Everything is possible for God to be able to deliver the healing to you that you're looking for. It is impossible for you yourself to be able to do it except through the experience of grace. That no matter what you're thinking or feeling or wherever you're at, it has nothing to do with that. It simply is known to God to deliver what you need for healing at that point, because God has made you ready for it, and your human mind doesn't tell you that. It doesn't tell you that. Your human mind says to you that you're not ready for anything, get out of here. And so we see it again. Finally, as the point with Jesus, it's impossible for us to do anything at all without support, because we are know-nothing minds. Jesus says of himself, of myself, the human mind, of myself, I know nothing. I must go to the Father who shows me what to do, and I do what the Father shows me. Support people, help you in this process. That's it for now. Hope it's helpful.